Hey guys, welcome to another Bricklaying vlog. The time is 9 o'clock, so we've been going since about 8:30, I think. So 8:15. This is a wall we started the other day. It's Thursday before the bank holiday, so it's an early day. So I'm running this section in, and I'm just tailing this little bit round. You could get a dory block on here, but because I ain't got no top stabilisers yet, it's the profile isn't stable, so just pulling it one way. We've got about another 8 course on that, and then we'll rack this up, and then we're going to go around the back, and then I think that'll be it. I'm going to take profiles home for over the holiday period. I might set up a little corner on this squint, but this is an example where I can't get a profile on with the current setup. So when I get some stabilisers, I will be. You know, this is what you have to work with sometimes. So yeah, right. I've got time lapse going in the corner. So see you in a bit. Hey guys, welcome to the voiceover part of the video. It's just me and Ben running in. I'm sorry for the footage being a bit blurred. I've had to zoom it in because I had nowhere to put the GoPro, and I'm not bringing a fucking extendable tripod into sight. You know, I've not been. You know, it was only a couple of years ago I used to get tellings off about time lapses and recording and etc. etc. You know, so. And I can still see it. I will probably get a bollocking at some point about recording footage on site, you know, etc. etc. You know. So I ain't that serious. I'm not that serious about recording all the time, you know. I know it's some of the footage I get is a bit substandard. It ain't TikTok worthy or YouTube worthy really, but it's just a little snapshot of a day, you know. Of the After 8 Bricky, yeah, i.e. me. So yeah, so we've got Ben here on the left hand side. He didn't really want to be on camera, but this is sort of a prime time you can get your improvers or apprentices, etc. to get on the trowel, get laying. You can see I've just got a profile, got my aluminiums. They're a little bit smaller as well, you know. You can see I've got about, I think they're about 2 metre, or I think they're about 1.8, either 1.8 or 1900 my profiles. And yeah, I think your standard height of a profile is like 2.1, maybe 2.2, depending on the profile. And the only reason I have them this length is my old man, about 6 years ago, chopped about 150 off of them to fit them in his Volvo estate, which they fit in fine, but he didn't want to scratch his plastic, so he chopped 150 off my profile. So I think they were 2 metre originally, or 2.1 or something like that. He chopped like 150 off of them. Funny fact that. It was funny at the time. But you don't, you know, these profiles serve me fantastic. You know, I've had them for years. I think I found a couple of them inside a cavity about 5 years ago when I first started on YouTube. I think I found them in a bay window cavity. So I found 2 profiles at the time, and I didn't realise that they're about, you know, I think when I first got my first set of profiles, they were on for about 30 quid a profile, 25, and then now they're about 50 quid a profile now, something like that, 55, maybe 60. I know Richard Fitzbrick does his gauged ones. I like his system, it's pretty cool, but I don't do houses enough. I don't get enough lifts, especially enough brick lifts, to do his setup of profile. So that's why I find myself on these walls, no corners. There's no corners to set up a profile on. I have to wang them on with a bit of timber, you know, basically top stabilise them. So I've got some stabilisers on the way. Going going to be getting some of them in the next month. I'm building that many walls and garages at the moment. I'm on a really good run. I'm on a really good run of walls and garages. You know, if you've seen the YouTubes, you've seen how I do them. You've seen, you know, that there is a lot of freehand work that goes into building walls. That's one thing that I think some people underestimate when they come out to build a wall. You got squints on them. You got pillars. You've got to even out your joints. You've got to check, you know, before you set your wall out, you've got to check, you know, dry bond your wall, make sure it works nice joints. You've got to make sure, this is another tip, you know, I don't really talk many tips nowadays, so I've already said a lot of it before, but a little tip with garden walls is, if there's an expansion joint in it, in between two sections of wall, and the wall does not work nice joints, if you've got chalk ices every fucking course, or you've got dining needles, shift them expansions. If you've got to knock down, I do this regular on walls, I'm knocking down a couple of courses splash, shifting the expansion of it, or shifting the squint of it, or shifting the pillar of it to make it work nice joints. You know, it takes an extra 10-15 minutes, you know, set the wall up. You know, you're having to fucking break the engineering course off, but it makes the whole wall look nice as it goes up. You know, nice and consistent joints. You know, I've even got my grinder with me a lot of the time. Don't like to use it. Don't get told off for using it a lot of the time. Even if I've got my dust mask on, my glasses, you know, my ventilation, or a little water bottle to keep the dust down. It's you know, I still get bollockings for using it. So, you know, so I've always got the grinder there just for, even if I've got a couple odd perps, or I've got an expansion, or I've got an odd brick that needs a little trim up, or just run the grinder over it, repoint it. You know, it's always good to have. So this is a little time lapse here. I think it was about an hour and a half of footage, I think, time lapsed in, of me and Ben just running in this wall. And you know, also when it gets to this height, when it gets sort of above head height, I get the vent spreading, and it's just rapid, and, you know, it's just sliding them in. And that's another thing as well, you know, guys on walls as well, people take them fucking too high as well. They take them too high. You know, at the end of the day, they're meant to be 1.8 with a top on them. You know, sometimes you get like a 2.1 screen wall now and again, but guys take them too high as well. They spend fucking miles too long putting the fucking top 2-3 course on. You know, we've got uneven ground, you've got a lot of splash out the ground. Just get it up to a comfortable height and then wait for the scaffold. Like years ago, we used to trestle these, but obviously now times have changed. Health and safety, ease of work. We have scaffolds. Wait for the scaffold to go up. Chuck an extra fucking. A lot of the time I work out my steps for walls when I'm running like a long section of wall with undulating ground. You know, I get it up to even height. I might leave a fucking couple of course off, and when I come to put the tops on, the tile crease and brick on edge, or sometimes just brick on edge, I'll work it out. Then I'll get the steps out. Then I'll level the top of the wall, make sure it's all perfectly level. Because when you're above your head trying to get it to full height, you know, you sometimes just spinning your wheels, man. So I think this clip's coming to an end. So I've got another little time lapse again. I know there's no real time footage of me laying in this video. I've got another time lapse coming up. I might include a little bit of. They're not ideal. It's just not ideal angles for real time footage. So I've got another little bit of freehand coming up as well. So God, this is fucking high. Me and Ben are 5'10", I think. We're both 5'10" or 5'9.5", whatever. 5'9" with boots, 5'10" with, you know. So I'll show you this next little bit of freehand. It's 11:30. I've got this up to height, and we're just going to put this last little pillar in. There's probably not even 100 bricks in it, so I'll record this. I'll try it for you guys. It's that's the squint. That just needs a little bit of pointing. But that's like getting mastic to now. I hate that detail, to be fair, because it just looks shit. But I'd prefer a bird's mouth on it, but that's what they want. So I just don't like seeing straight joints and stuff. I hate expansions. I think they look rubbish as well. And there's expansions all over houses, but I suppose structural and shit. So right, I'll get these. I said I was going to build this. I got no bricks. Right, let's get some bricks. Right, bye. So we're on a bit of a roll today. I've found a quiet moment, so I'll do another voiceover. I managed to do the first one in one take, so I'm doing this one also. You know, I normally put a little bit of music on for this because there's a good, I think there's a good like 6 or 7 minutes footage here. This was like another hour I spent at the end of the day, just finishing this little awkward bit off. You know, there's a lot of this in walls. You know, not all walls are straight long runs. You get like little fiddly bits in walls, so you've got to be pretty quick with your little level, you know. Be good with the eye. Make sure you're getting, and it all adds up, you know. I think this had like 88 bricks in it or something, 90 bricks. But it's awkward, you know. There's awkward little bits, awkward little pillars like these. I think it's a countryside home site we're on. I think that's the name of it anyway. And obviously you see a lot of timber frame houses in the background. And with this house builder and associated house builders with this firm, because I think they own about 3 or 4 house builders, they have these squint pillars. They have these pillars like 2 pillars in one on a squint, you know. So you've got to work out your bond nice on this, you know. So this is like a prime example. I see a lot of guys take on walls. They've got fucking profiles up everywhere, profiles up. And they just go off of the footing. They just go off of the splash that's there, which a footing gang's put in the day or in half a day. Probably less than that. A couple hours to put in a few hours to put in a footing splash, you know, for a wall. And they say out with chalk ices in it, man. Chalk ices, shitty, you know, just massive joints on it instead of just rebonding stuff out, rebonding stuff nice so the wall runs nice all the way up. Because that's all walls are about, is just a finished product. You know, normally there's a wall around an house, around a garden. First thing when you go to buy an house, or you come out of the house, or you walk up to a house to go visit someone's new house, is the wall. So you know you want to make that bit look nice. And that's one thing I've tried to do over the past couple of years as the standards are getting higher and higher. And it's cavities mainly, man. It's cavities that are killing this game, you know. The amount of time you spend with your hand in the cavity, brushes in the cavity, stuff that no one's ever going to see. It's crazy. It's crazy, to be honest. I am glad at the moment. I am 1-on-1. You know, I've always been 1-on-1. You know, I've had another lad come in, jump in. You know, we've had a lot of work on them. You know, want to get through a little bit more work because, to be quite honest, when I've been like a 1-and-2 or a 2-and-1 semi sort of thing, I don't get that much extra work done anyway. I get 20% more work done. You know, and it's tiring. It's hard work. It's not these early days like I've been having now. But I've got nephew coming in next year, so gang size will get bigger. You'll probably see me on more houses because inevitably I'll get through more work, so I'll have to put me on lifts again. Because I've dropped on at the moment. I've been on a right streak of walls and garages and just stuff that's easy, man. Easy, less time. You know, I try and explain this to a lot of bricklayers, and a lot of bricklayers won't really know this without doing a lot of them. You know, at the end of the day, when you're building the wall, building the garage, or even building the footing somewhere out of cavity, you're just laying bricks or blocks. You know, you've got no messing about with cavity. You're not scraping the backs of cavities. You're not pointing the backs of your blocks, backs of your bricks. You know, even now, the ruined footings really in this respect now, because they're getting you to point back of the footings, point all your trench. You know, they're wanting all the back of your splash pointing on your footings. So the game's getting ruined when it comes to just pleasure of building. Obviously, your ability to get your bricks down. You know, I think on this day we laid about 700-800 bricks, maybe something like that. I know we did about 800 on the first short day, because I think I started this on a Friday as well. I started this on a Friday and then we finished it on a Friday, effectively. But I think we did like 7. Oh, I don't think it was a Friday. I think I was just really poorly. So I think we did like 750, 800 one day, and I think this had about 700 in, something like that. I can't remember. On this day. But, you know, at the end of the day, just laying bricks, just getting your brick counting. You know, you've got none of the other messing about. No fire socks, no tie wires, no fucking expansions everywhere, you know. Houses now, you get 4 expansions an house. It's fucking... just wasn't how it was years ago, you know. I don't know either if it's the ground they're building on now or fucking what, or just the regulations are changing, but it's... you can't beat a wall or a garage just for the fact you're just laying bricks one on top of two, or blocks one on top of two, you know. You're not messing around, you're not doing anything for free, you know. So at the end of the day, you know, when you get to a lintel, get to a window, start measuring, start grabbing your tape measure out, grabbing your fucking level, you're not earning money. Whereas a wall, you're just earning money. Every second you pick a brick up, it's 60 pence or 70 pence or 80 pence, wherever you live in the country. So, you know, it's best kept secret, I always say in bricklaying. You know, you get your gangs on, your big gangs loading out a lift, going, oh, you're on the walls again, or on this again. Or you get all best jobs. But at the end of the day, I'm just laying bricks. And you get your numbers in at the end of the day. And now, in this sort of climate we're in now, a lot of gangs now aren't bothered about what numbers they get in. They're not bothered about what they're earning in a day. They're just bothered about getting a 5 and a 6. So, you know, times are changing, bricklaying's changing. We will see how the climate, you know, turns out in the next year or two, you know. So I know a lot of gangs are struggling at the moment, and I'm fortunate enough to keep going, you know, against all odds. So, right, that's this little pillar up. I think it took me about an hour in real time. So, right, guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you out with the outro. Hope you enjoyed, you know, this little way I go about doing a little wall. All right, guys, I will see you guys. Yeah, I think it took us like 2 half days to do this, or two 1 o'clock finishes or something like that for this wall. So that's another thing. I'll get into it more in the next video. So I'll talk a bit more about hours and overworking, etc. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. So yeah, 1:15. There's the wall. It looks alright from a distance. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Got the old super trowel on. CPI, your own mix we're using. Right, I'll see you guys on the next wall or something. Next build. Alright, see you in a bit.